it's me, Amy. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We have three fun projects today. I can't wait to show you. We're gonna save some money on these dupes. So if you love shopping at Pottery Barn, or if you love to look at Pottery Barn and get inspiration, if you love West Elm and you love to get inspiration, but you maybe want to save a few dollars, I can tell you that I made this for $1 and some change, and it's a great dupe. And we have, just wait till you see, come on. So this is our inspiration picture. This is the West Elm website, and as you can see, the footed bowl is $112. So while I love the look and feel of anything West Elm, really, I love West Elm, I love Pottery Barn. I don't have either of those stores near me. I can order online, but I just wanted to see what I could do. So you can see here that I found this pot at the Goodwill. It's just a planter, a ceramic planter. It was $2.50, and I found that melamine bowl at Tuesday Morning for $7.99. So altogether right now I am at let's see, $8 and $2.50, $10.50. E6000 and a little bit of hot glue is what I use to adhere that pot and melamine bowl together. So you just use a dot or two of hot glue, and then the E6000 does all the work. The hot glue holds it into place. I gave it one coat of the flat primer, the white flat primer, because I really don't need it to be coated heavy with primer. I just needed this sand like spray paint to stick. What I'm spraying here is Rust-Oleum multicolor textured spray paint, and it is in the color Desert Bisque. It comes out, so I sprayed this in short bursts, and it comes out with quite a bit of force. So as you're spraying the wet that you've already sprayed, and it will kind of move a little bit, so you want to be sure not to cross over what you've already sprayed too much. However, a little bit gives it just the right pattern and just the right amount of texture. So I'm just shooting in short bursts, like a this is my first coat, and then I'm gonna go around again on the inside here with my first coat, and I'm gonna ultimately end up doing 3 coats of the Rust-Oleum multicolor texture, and this is how it ended up. So this is a Dollar Tree bowl. It was kind of fluted, and I liked that look. This is another Dollar Tree bowl that I didn't end up using in this project, so count on seeing this bowl in the next dupe video, because I have a really great idea for that one. It's a little bit bigger, and so the fluted bowl, though, I thought, wow, that'd be really cute. I'd seen some fluted bowls and as inspiration, and I thought it would be perfect to do our tissue paper trick that I showed you in the last video. So all I'm doing is using some chalk paint to coat the inside first with wet paint, and then I'm gonna crumple my tissue paper. I'm going to try to as neatly as possible put this down. I don't want a bunch of my tissue paper rolling over each other, but a little bit is great. So I pat down and try to get the base of the bowl as smooth as possible first, and then I work on the outsides. And because the tissue paper is dry, it's not completely wet, I can use my hands to just press it into place, and then I'm going to give it a coat of paint over the top, and then I'm going to show you what I did wrong so that you don't make the same mistake. So I'm just lightly coating with a coat of paint, and I'm dabbing the top there. And I thought I would just turn it over. I'm giving it a coat of paint, and I thought I would use the same tissue paper But what I end up doing, yeah, you can see here that it just didn't give me as clean of a look as I wanted, and it tore because it was wet from the top and had been sitting in the wet paint. It just takes a few minutes. So I ended up tearing that off, and it ended up working out way better anyway. This way I start at the base again, and then I'm able to very neatly, I have a little texture, but to very neatly press down into those flutes. I think that's what they're called, spines maybe. Anyway, and then I just press them in neatly, and then I can take this up and just tear this off at the top because my paint is wet. My tissue paper tears really easily. And then I am going to use my kind of wet paintbrush, but it's not super wet because I don't want runs, but I'm just gonna kind of tack, I keep saying kind of, sorry, I'll stop doing that. I keep tacking down the top of the tissue paper where I had torn it so that it looks neat, and then the paint is still wet, and I'm just gonna go over and do a second coat of the tissue paper. And back and forth. After this coat, I actually let the tissue paper dry for a little bit, because as I was painting and tissue papering, I realized that the tissue paper was just getting soggy and tearing as I brushed on more paint. So I decided to, after this bit here, to let it dry for a little bit. I'm sitting it on the tissue paper there because I didn't want the wet paint to stick to my drop cloth and tear any tissue paper away. So I just went ahead and was proactive, not retroactive, and put my tissue paper on the base of the bottom. And then again, wet paint on the inside, pressing down my tissue paper, tearing it off, and then I'm gonna do the other side. And then I barely had any paint on the top of that tissue paper, and I'm just pressing it in to make sure that it's really neat looking, and you'll see in the after pictures that it just turned out great. I'm so pleased with this project. You know, paper mache is ground up paper and water, and then you let it dry, and you have to have a mold, or you can have to form it and let it dry. With this method, it looks just like paper mache. It's formed exactly to the shape of my Dollar Tree bowl, and it looks high end. It looks like the paper mache bowls that you find in the store. So I ended up doing 3 pieces of tissue paper on each side, the front and the back, or the top and the bottom. And here what you see me doing is just taking a fairly dry brush and getting any of the loose paper ends where I was tearing it off and tacking them down with wet paint to make sure that it looks neat, and it ended up perfect and looking even more like authentic paper mache when you do it this way. That is a Paint Pixie brush. It's one of my favorites, by the way. And voila, there it is. It looks so good. And I'm going to show you up close, and then at the end you should see it styled. It's so pretty. So another Dollar Tree bowl. This one is a really neat shape. I hadn't seen it at the Dollar Tree before. I don't know if it's like an Easter. They also had a tray that I bought as well. So if you see one, get one at the Dollar Tree, because we're going to be doing a fun dupe with the tray as well. So $1, this is the flat black spray paint primer from Rust-Oleum as well. So in the beginning we use the white primer from Rust-Oleum, the 2 times. This is the black. This stuff dries like in a minute, like it's already drying and I had just sprayed it. Then we are going to use the same multicolor in aged iron, the multicolored textured Rust-Oleum. It's called aged iron. Now this freaked me out because when I first sprayed it on, I'm so glad I went over, I didn't even realize it was going to come out tan. So I'm glad that I had that black primer on there. It ended up working out perfect. It's a perfect color of black. It looks like aged iron, but this freaked me out. So don't let this freak you out in the beginning. Again, with the short bursts of this spray paint, because it moves the wet that you've already sprayed. So you want short bursts and you don't want to be going over. So you can see the texture here, and that freaked me out as well, but it ended up working out just fine. I guess it's all part of the master plan. So we're going to do the same on the inside. The flat black primer from Rust-Oleum, it's the 2 times, and I did the base and then I did the front. It had no problem. Don't worry about overspray or anything like that. This flat black will actually add to the look if you do get some on the other side, so don't worry about that. I always spray off. See that black line and then you see the gray line? I always spray off before I spray on my project. And then you can kind of see, if you watch inside the bowl really carefully, how this works out when you spray. See there, it's kind of wet and then you spray into it, and you can move it around. So you just kind of want to, oh yeah, painting outside. So here are our inspiration picks. This is a West Elm bowl for $112. This is a Pottery Barn fluted bowl. It's concrete, but it's the same look I was going for. And this one is the black artisan bowl at Pottery Barn. And then this one, $1. I love how this looks up on my open shelves with the tulips in it. I'll show you that in just a second. So go check out the after photos and look for my next set of dupes in the future. So I hope that you'll like and subscribe to my channel for more fun videos like this. And thank you so much for being here.